Hi class, I'm back, and this instructional video is about paragraph 1, how to write the introduction, and paragraph 5, how to write the conclusion. So I am looking at the document that was posted in module 5. It's the template for every essay that we're going to write for the remainder of the semester. You probably need to pull that up and make sure you are consulting it often as you write the introduction and conclusion paragraphs. So we're going to start with the introduction, paragraph 1. The first thing that you need to do, if you look right here, it says identify the authors and titles of articles 1 and 2. So before we jump into our analysis, we need to let the reader know exactly what we are comparing and contrasting. Use the correct punctuation marks, both go in quotation marks, and capitalization for the author's names and titles of the articles. Please make sure that you are doing this correctly and that you are spelling the author's names correctly. That's very important. So after you've identified the article titles and the authors, you need to briefly summarize the overall topic or theme of the articles. This is really easy. Pretend like you're sitting at a table and the articles are laying there, and your friend walks up and says, "What are you reading? What are those about?" How would you very briefly answer their question? What are those articles about? Most of you would probably say farming, food production, something like that. So we want a very general theme or overall topic in that sentence. All right, number 2, explain why the topic addressed by the readings is a worthy subject for college level students to discuss. So in other words, why are we reading this? Why is this important? What does this have to do with my everyday life? How is this relevant? And then thirdly, write a thesis statement. You guys have probably heard the word thesis for many years. Some of you may know how to write an effective thesis. Some of you don't. You are in luck. I'm going to teach you in this video how to write an effective thesis. So a thesis always states the purpose of your essay, what you are not going to do. And I repeat, not going to do is write something like, the purpose of this essay is, okay? It is not your job to talk to the reader, okay? You can convey the purpose of the essay without talking directly to the reader about the essay. All right, I'm going to teach you how to do that in just a few. So let's open up a new document. Okay. Very briefly, I'm going to go through here and I am going to set up my paper. I'm going to pretend my last name is Jones today, okay? I'm going to insert my page number. I think I want my name to be Lisa. I'm going to put my name, I'm going to put my instructor's name, I'm going to put the class, and I'm going to put the day that it's due, whatever day that is. Okay, and then I am going to make sure everything's formatted correctly. I'm going to change that to 0. I'm double spaced. And I am in Times New Roman 12.5. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and title this Walsh Lusk TBE. You do not have to be creative with a title. I just ask that you have a title because that is an element of MLA. All right, I'm ready to go. I'm going to indent this first paragraph, and here we go. So number 1 said that I needed to identify the titles, the authors, and the overall topic. I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I apologize for these long titles, okay? I did not make these up. They just both happen to be a little lengthy. All right, so I am capitalizing all the key words, and I have those in quotation marks. And now that I have the two authors' names and the two titles, I'm going to give the general topic. Something like this. You could even put discuss. So my general topic is modern farming. Okay? The second sentence that I'm supposed to write for this topic, for this introduction, is explain why the topic addressed is a worthy subject for college level students to discuss. I'm going to let you do this sentence, but it might start out with something like this. This is a worthy topic of discussion because. And that might be different for all of us, okay? It might be because we all eat. We all have, it's relevant to everyone. We all have a responsibility as consumers to know where our food comes from. Whatever it is, that's where I want you to write that. Okay, so you're going to finish that sentence right there. And now the thesis. Remember, I told you what you were not going to do. You will not write the purpose of this essay is. Okay, that is not only very elementary, but it's just plain annoying. So do not talk to the reader and do not write a thesis statement like that. So I'm going to show you what an effective thesis statement looks like in a compare and contrast essay. Although the two authors disagree on many aspects of industrial farming, they share some related ideas. Okay, so I want you to look at what I did. Any thesis statement, the reader should be able to read that one sentence and know what the essay is about. And that holds true with the thesis I just wrote. Although the two authors disagree, so you know right there's already going to be a lot of discussion about their differences. Okay? But then I write, they share some related ideas. You also know that there is going to be exploration of what they do agree on. Okay? So I did not use I did not use me. I definitely did not say in my opinion. Okay? So there is no first person in this introduction, and definitely not in your summaries, and definitely not in your compare and contrast. Okay, so there's your introduction. Now, we're going to keep going. Right here is where your Walsh summary would go. So with revisions, you should be able to copy and paste that Walsh paragraph right in there. The next paragraph is going to be your Lusk summary. And this is all following this template right here. Okay? So there's your Walsh, paragraph 2, Lusk, paragraph 3, and then what you wrote last week, the compare and contrast paragraph is going to be next. Okay? That's really the meat of your essay. That's the most important paragraph. Okay? And then you're ready for your summary. And I'm sorry, your conclusion. So I'm going to go ahead and get to that. If I go back to my template, I have good news for you. This is the first time in the essay where you are actually able to give your own opinion, okay? Make sure that whatever opinion you give, that you have reason to have that opinion based on what you have read, okay? The most important part of this is that first sentence, your topic sentence. Okay, you want to make sure that you write a strong one. Number 2 says, explain your opinion on the issues raised. So what is your opinion, now that you've read these, what is your opinion on industrial farming and why do you feel that way? If the articles have changed or added to what you already knew about industrial farming, you need to tell the reader that. Explain if your thinking changed. Maybe you thought one way when you started reading Walsh, but then after reading Lusk, your thinking changed. Write the majority of the conclusion in your own words. That means you don't have to cite the article in your conclusion, okay? You don't have to have any citations. You don't have to provide any evidence in this last paragraph because it's your perspective. And be careful not to simply restate what you already stated in the body. Okay, so I'm just going to give you an example. I've been really charitable about letting you borrow some of my wording from my other paragraphs. I do not want you to borrow my conclusion because it's mine, okay? These are my thoughts and they're my opinions. So I want you to make sure that your opinion is conveyed in your essay. Now, you can, however, borrow this first sentence starter if you would like to. I'm going to start my conclusion with something like this. After analyzing both articles, I have come to the conclusion that agriculture in America is a topic in which many are uneducated. Now, I say that because I don't think a lot of people, which Walsh and Lusk both make this clear, I don't think a lot of people know where their food comes from and what's involved. So I might say, when I first read Walsh's text, I was horrified at the treatment of animals and consumers' reliance on corn. Corn's in everything, okay? This information made me pause at the grocery store before picking up pork chops. Yes, I said pork chops. Or cereal. And made me think negatively about large-scale farmers. Okay, so that was my initial reaction when I read Walsh. Okay, after reading Lusk's article, my opinion was altered. Now look, y'all, this is just my opinion. Your conclusion might look completely different than this, okay? Because you are a different person and you have a different opinion. And that's fine. I want it to look different than this. And then I might go on to say how it was altered. I feel like he is a credible author. Now notice, y'all, this is the first time in my entire essay that I'm using I, okay? Only in paragraph 5. I feel like he is a credible author who truly understands the ins and outs of industrial farming. His genuine passion for protecting the environment made me feel better about the industry in general. In conclusion, it is important for Americans to understand where our food comes from and how it is produced. And both authors bring awareness to this critical subject. Now look, y'all. Writing is a recursive process, okay? This is my rough draft. I might not like this later. Look, even my Microsoft Word's telling me that I'm being wordy. Okay? But this is a good jumping off point, so I might come through, and when I'm revising, I might change a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Okay? So that is the conclusion and the introduction. Please email me if you have problems.